Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. I hope all of you had a beautiful weekend. I'm sending you all love and high vibrations. We had our monthly close last night for the cryptocurrency market, and now that we've transitioned into November, I'm going to share what I'm seeing in the charts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP to see what we can expect over the next week with some very important dates I'll be covering with a Gematria decode to kick off this video. And just a reminder, the new month has started on Patreon. If you've been waiting to join, you can visit patreon.com/watersabove to sign up for the Mastermind community membership and get instant access to all of my exclusive Patreon posts, all of my weekly Red Pill episodes, which are my technical analysis podcasts. We did about 31 episodes so far, so lots of material there. I actually just released a new Red Pill episode last night covering stellar lumens, Engine Coin, Polkadot, Verge, and a couple other coins. Also, by joining my Patreon Mastermind community, you'll have access to our community Discord chat and also get live updates to see what I am personally buying and selling. The link to join is also in the description of this video. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. And for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my Mastermind course. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So I do want to revisit some of the dates that we've been discussing in the last couple of videos that I've been doing in comparison to Rosh Hashanah, which is right over here. This current Rosh Hashanah that we've just experienced on the 7th of September was the start of Shemitah, the 7-year cycle. Shemitah is the sabbatical year, and this is very important for finances. So where I'm going with this is going to be pretty interesting because we have a couple numbers that keep replaying themselves throughout this entire week, and it's pretty mind-blowing how this is all going to come together. So we have the date of 11/2/2021, which will be tomorrow, and you could see right here, this is 56 days between this date of tomorrow and Rosh Hashanah. So this 56 number is very important with cryptocurrency because it comes back to BTC, the ticker symbol of Bitcoin, but it ultimately also comes back to Isis, and Isis being the moon. And with my work, we've seen time and time again how important the moon cycle is in my work. So with this being said, we also have to consider the following day, which will be the 3rd, and this is giving us 57 days in between. And this 57 number is very important because it's coming back to Rosh Hashanah with the 57. And also we can see that the date of Rosh Hashanah itself gave us the 57 date numerology when you add it up the way that I like to, which would be 9 plus 7 plus 20 plus 21. So this is very critical how this is all coming together. So you can see Rosh Hashanah's date numerology giving us the 57. The 3rd of November will be 57 days since Rosh Hashanah, and Rosh Hashanah is giving us a 57 in the full reduction cipher of Gematria. So this also comes back to Society of Jesus as well with that 57 date. Another thing that's important is the following day after that, the 4th, will leave us 57 days in the year. So many 57s coming in. It's absolutely incredible. Also, this date will be the 11 date numerology, so I'll type it in the calculator and show you 11/4/2021. If I type that in, that's giving you the 11. Okay, and this will also be happening during the 44th week of the year. So today would be the date of the 1st of November, which is the 111 date in the 44th week of the year, just starting today. And the 4th of November in the 44th week of the year will give us the 11 date numerology. This is very important, guys. This whole week that we're experiencing is going to be very energetically interesting, not only for the crypto market, but perhaps some other things that are going on. So what else is important about this date? Well, it gives us that 57 days left in the year, and the date numerology giving us that 56, again, coming back to Isis, with the 56 coming back to BTC, the ticker symbol of Bitcoin, with that 56. And a special thing about this date of the 4th, this will be the day of the new moon that we're about to have, and I've exposed this time and time again that typically a window of 5 days before a new moon up to 5 days after a new moon is a bullish time in the market, and 5 days before a full moon up to 5 days after a full moon is a bearish time in the market. I've also exposed that in the months of October, November, and December, it's not going to be as noticeable as it used to be in regarding any bearish energy. Why? Because October, November, and December are very bullish months. So the more bullish the month is in and of itself based on the energy, that means any pullbacks we get are not going to be as significant. And if we do get a dramatic pullback, it will be purchased up very quickly. Any pullbacks we get are very fast dips that get bought up very, very fast, right? We've been seeing this happen over the last 30 days. So what's so special about the following day is that's going to give us that 56 days left of the year. And of course, the date numerology of 57 compared to Rosh Hashanah with that 57. Again, Rosh Hashanah giving us 57 in Gematria as well. This will be the day after the new moon. But let's go back to the new moon for a second, because this date of the 4th of November, again, I'll show you right here. We could see new moon, and that will be on the 4th of November. This day is a Thursday or a Thor's day, the day of Jupiter. And why is this so important, everyone? Well, if I type in Jupiter and I press enter, and then I type in new moon and press enter, you're going to see something very special. Look at the bottom of the screen, and you're going to see right here, new moon and Jupiter match on 99s, 36s, 90s, and even on the 27s between 27 Chaldean and Jupiter and 27 in new moon. This is very important, okay? So this is a big match that we're getting here. Jupiter is a very important energy because Jupiter, being Zeus, is the king of the gods, okay? So it's powerful to be considerate of essentially this entire week starting tomorrow with Tuesday, which is Martes, the day of Mars, okay? So there's going to be power here because what does Mars give us? All the matches in the moon, okay? We have that 57. For tomorrow, right? It's really powerful, guys. It's really powerful how this is all coming together by the code. Okay, so a couple other things we could consider with what's going on here is my work always discusses this connection between 56 through 58 because I exposed something very early on called the 56 to 58 day bottoms. And I'm interested to see how this is all going to play out in the charts, because if I go from the day of Rosh Hashanah, remember what we were just discussing earlier, tomorrow gives us 56 days, and then on the 4th of November, the day of the new moon, it gives us 58 days. Now, I'm not saying we will dip on this day. I'm just sharing the code. Ultimately, I really don't care what happens moving forward because we're kind of late in the game for the Bitcoin play. Even ETH is showing really, a lot of strength. So, like I said before, any dips we get, they're going to be quick. So if we just magically flash crash tomorrow or the next day or on the 4th, you know why now. I gave you the reasons with the code. They might come out and say Bitcoin is banned in Kazakhstan or whatever. It doesn't matter because you know that it's going to very quickly be bought back up. That's just how this market works. So I do have a lot of TA to share, and I don't want to spend too much time on the code, but I'm just letting you know that between tomorrow with 56 days and between Rosh Hashanah, the day after being 57 days, giving us the 55 date numerology. Of course, that 55 is very important because it comes back to Satoshi Nakamoto with the 55s. Then we have being 58 days left in the year, which is that energy leaving the 56 through 58 day bottom. And then we have the 4th being 56 date numerology, the 11 date numerology in the 11th month of the year, in the 44th week of the year, days left in the year being the 57. Again, this is all tying back to the moon with the 57 and the Society of Jesus. And it's funny, you got that 57. This is really interesting because these elite psychopaths think that they show us that they're sun worshippers, but in reality, it's the moon, it's the divine feminine, it's Isis, and all of those counterparts, Selene, etc. Luna. So it's really interesting how this is all going to play out, especially with the fifth too. 56 days left in the year, 57 date numerology, and it's giving us that 12 in regular numerology. This 12 is important because it was when they removed the 13th zodiac, the dragon. Who's the dragon? Well, you guys know about the serpent, you know about the lizards, and that's what's going on there. I can probably make a full-blown video just about the dragon. But so as we transition out of this day, of course, the 6th giving us 55 days left in the year. It's going to be such a powerful week, guys. Again, 11-7, that's going to be important because Bitcoin gives us the 11-7 right there. And then, of course, we have the 9/11 date. 9/11 date's going to be powerful because it gives us 52 days left in the year. And that 52 number is very important with the occult, the elite in and of itself. Everything is mirrored, though, because where this comes back to BTC would be in the ticker symbol reversed is 25. All right. It's fascinating how this whole code works. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Look at that Shemitah giving us the 25 right there. Okay. So let's move on to the TA. So much information today. So first and foremost, we had a monthly close. I think that's important to discuss. Let me turn off all these excess drawings and just zoom into what we're working with here. So we actually closed the monthly on all-time highs. Candle close at all-time highs. That's bullish, okay? And also we're seeing this 8 simple moving average is starting to flatline, and it also starting to kind of curve to the upside. Whenever we have an upside slope on macro time frame, exponential or simple moving averages, that's a very good thing. So let's go to the weekly because we had a weekly close last night. And you can see all of our moving averages are sloping to the upside, and all of our moving averages are in a bullish posture. So we could see the 8 is above the 13, above the 21, 34, 55, and the 200s are at the bottom. That's absolutely beautiful to see. Let's look at the Bollinger Bands and see if we're getting anything else. Okay, so we're still within the Bollinger Bands, so that's something to consider until we start to get weekly closes above the topside band like we saw last year around late October moving into November. This is a kind of a sideways moment. I do believe we have a 5-day close coming in tonight. Yes, we do. Okay, we're still below the topside band. The topside band would be coming in around $63,400. So any closures tonight above $63,500 would be above the topside band on the 5-day. And because we're moving into the month of November, that's an extremely bullish thing. Let's consider where our next close would be, which is the 2-day. Okay, so the 2-day, we still have some work to go, which is kind of nice, and that actually fulfills the thesis of any short-term pullbacks. You can see that the 21 moving average on the 2-day chart is actually sitting around 56,000. Remember what we've been talking about, guys. Look at the Bitcoin price and look at where our major pullback targets have been for the past week or so in all of my videos. I keep bringing up 55K, 56, 57, 58, and that aligns perfectly with all of the dates that we've just been talking about, right? With tomorrow being the 56 days, the next day, the 57 days, the day after that, 58. Will it align with the Bitcoin price? That would be beautiful. We can see back here just a couple of 2-day candle closures ago, we actually did get to 57,000. So this all aligns with the code for me. And then also we have a eclipse coming up soon on the 19th. And that eclipse, I believe, we will be seeing when the real deal bullish energy enters Bitcoin. So that's just a little side note for now. Also, we can see that the bottom side Bollinger Band has crossed above the 200s. That's very strong, something not many analysts discuss. All of our moving averages are sloping up except the 8 has started to flatline. So the 2-day is looking all right, but the 2-day is showing definitely signs of sideways. And that would mean that so I knew this would happen. Our MACD on the 2-day chart is definitely showing signs of weakness, but it doesn't really matter at this time because once we cross, if it's bearish, it'll be bullish very quickly after that. We've seen this happen like times back here and even back here, where it's just a quick little moment of it crosses down, crosses up, and then we continue to the upside. Totally normal stuff. And the RSI sitting above 50, it's at about 62 on the 2-day. That's looking very strong as well. Okay, you could see that this the daily Bollinger Bands are starting to squeeze. All right, we could tell, excuse me, we can tell between the bottom side Bollinger Band crossing above the 34 exponential coming very soon, and the daily 8 simple moving averages holding a very strong support. So closures below that are typically indicative of moving down a level, but because the 21 exponential moving average is so close and the 13 exponential is all coiling up in the same area, this is telling me we might get one final back test of the bottom side Bollinger Band on the daily chart. That would be perfectly in line with the bottom wick of the closure on the 28th of October. So that's all in range. That would be perfect. That would be very sensible, and that would probably fulfill a retest of the 786, which is the top of the golden pocket, a very normal price target to pull back to before continuation. So that would mean, I put a lot of weight on 57 if we are going to get a pullback. I'm not saying we will. I'm saying that's a possibility. Okay. Now, we've had our major bullish cross with the 200 exponential above the 200 simple moving average. That's very nice. And the weakness is obviously there because we had a bearish MACD cross on the daily chart. Until this gets fulfilled, it's definitely something where sideways or down is in the cards. That's why I keep bringing up any possible downside action. Okay, so you could tell the Bollinger Bands are getting tighter and tighter and tighter because Bitcoin's being very sideways. It's lacking that volatility. So again, completely normal. It looks like the 12-hour MACD does have a chance of crossing bullish. I don't want to spend too much time on this stuff, but I do think that this is telling me that flash crash to the downside, I don't like using that word crash. Let me reiterate that. A flash down to 57 really quickly would make a lot of sense to me. If it got over leveraged traders out of the game, I could see it going to 55 to 56 for a moment. Like I'm talking about an hour or two. Okay. This would be, you'll need to have limit orders in that regard. So it would be quickly bought back up after that if we're going to get any downside. Now, as for upside, I think this daily topside Bollinger Band is definitely going to play a short-term resistance. Daily closes above the topside Bollinger Band on the daily would be indicative of continuation. So right now we've been holding the 888 fib very nicely, even with a bearish MACD cross. So this has been how many days of trading at the 888? 17 straight days. Okay, that's extremely strong. And we've barely back tested the top of the golden pocket. So this is all things bullish. There's really nothing bad to say about this. Any pullbacks are going to be short, sweet, and bought up very, very fast. Now let's go on to Ethereum. Ethereum's been extremely surprising as well, breaking up to new all-time highs. Let me turn off all these drawings and go to our monthly close. Let me turn off the Bollinger Bands because they're going to look silly. Okay. And we closed on all-time highs. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. So we closed the monthly candle on a 42% gain. Oh, that's interesting. 42. I wonder why. Well, let's go back to Saturn and see why. Let's go back to the Jesuits and see why. 42, baby. And of course, it played at 44,200 for a majority of that time frame. So monthly is looking insanely bullish. Weekly close on new all-time highs as well. Yep. So this would be two straight weekly closures for Ethereum at all-time highs. Let's go to the 5-day chart. 5-day chart could potentially be on new highs as well. Let's see what the Bollinger Bands are telling us. Okay, and we are above the top side Bollinger Band on the 5-day. That's a continuation sign. So it's looking gorgeous. Okay, this is also looking very solid because the 21 exponential on the 2-day chart is now essentially getting within the prior resistance level that we saw back here. And that's a very good sign. So if I zoom out and I put my cursor around that level right there, you can see that is within the prior support levels before we had a larger pullback and a consolidation. And here on that automatic rally we had using Wyckoff method is basically within that 21 exponential as well. So this 13 exponential is holding a very strong support. If that happens to have any closures below the $4,000 level, that's probably when we would see a quick swipe down to the 21 exponential on the 2-day chart. Daily chart looking monstrous. It's just a complete uptrend. ETH loves to do this when it's bullish. It'll just fucking rage. So many daily candles just up, and it really shakes people out. So yeah, even multiple daily closures at all-time highs according to the candle closes. This is looking okay. Um, really nothing bearish to say about this at this time, obviously. So if we're gonna get any pullbacks, it's gonna be something very short and sweet. It's gonna follow Bitcoin's lead most likely. But the level here of the 3,900 level or the $4,000 level, that's gonna be a psychological support level. Any break of that, maybe even on a 4-hour candle, we might see a little flash and then a quick recovery. And at this time, I do not think we're going to go much lower than the bottom side Bollinger Band, which would be $3,600. And that would be a huge move, everyone. Like that, we're talking about an additional 18% correction, which for crypto, that's not necessarily weird. But for ETH at this stage of the bull run, that would be a big shakeout. That would get a lot of people liquidated on those ridiculous leverage trades that they're doing. So yeah, this is looking it's looking strong, but there's definitely signs of weakness for the fact that when it broke into price discovery, it didn't just want to continue. Whilst something like Cardano, when we saw a couple months back, it broke into price discovery and made it almost up to the 1618 fib. We're still showing weakness at this 4,400 level. Why does that make sense? Well, because 44, we're in the 44th week of the year right now. So this is something to consider across the board. The numbers are aligning perfectly between Bitcoin and ETH on pullbacks and resistances. It's amazing. So yeah, if we are going to get any pullbacks with Bitcoin, I do suspect this will come down. But as ETH has been so strong, it will most likely want to hold this 4,000 level, and any swipes below that, it's going to be quickly bought back up. And at this stage of the bull run also, I've seen BTC moving past the new moon of November. It likes to regain dominance at this stage. So it would not be weird if it regained dominance. Like right now it's sitting at 43. It was previously at like 46, 47, I remember, for a short moment. But now that we have so many more traders in this market, so much more speculation, we have all these shitcoins now, this is bringing a lot more liquidity to stuff that's lower market cap, and that's something to consider. You know, this is overall going to be a different bull run because we've had so many new technologies enter, you know, DeFi being a huge change, NFTs being a huge change. There's a lot more speculation and there's a lot more adoption on the corporate level. So there's so much to say in regards to that, but I'm just letting you know this transition of getting through to the mid-November timeframe, getting closer to Hanukkah, that's typically when we see Bitcoin regain dominance and get pretty strong. And it could happen quickly. It could happen in a couple days where we could see Bitcoin's dominance go from 44% all the way up to 50%. It could be fast, so it's something to consider. So upside targets would be topside Bollinger Band around 4,500. Downside target would be 4,050 around the 21 exponential, and the moving average within the Bollinger Band, which is the 20 simple. And then also another level to the downside around 3,800, which would be the wick lows of October 27th and 28th. 4-hour closures below there, I would anticipate a swipe down into the mid 3,000s. Again, it's not much of a difference at the end of the day. XRP doing what we've been saying it would be doing, sideways. So this sideways is good because boring and bloody are when you want to buy, right? And we're seeing structure here clearly. We are seeing a noticeable downtrend on the wicks, and then at the same time we've seen an uptrend in price action going all the way back to July. So this is really interesting how this is all coiling up here in like a massive symmetrical triangle. We have seen that it's been holding all of these EMAs really nicely, which was something that I warned about. I was saying that if we get any bearish price action in Bitcoin, XRP is still likely to not crash any lower than, you know, where it's wicked recently. So it's going to hold structure. I would suspect that any new lows it gets will be above 95 cents. So if we break below $1, it's going to be short and sweet, just like this candle was short and sweet. And then it got bought back up off of that, you know, even up highs of an additional 20%, which isn't a lot, but it is a lot at the end of the day for a coin that's been so sideways and boring, right? It's just the whales are chopping around on leverage traders and trying to get them shaken out of this coin before it makes a bigger move. That's always how this market operates. And right now, we're definitely seeing a structure being built. So The 2-day MACD bullish cross is really what I want to see again, and I think that's coming in soon. So again, we have our 2-day closure coming in tonight, holding this $1.08 level. Again, even $1.09 would be really strong because it would be above all of our moving averages on the 2-day, followed by a 2-day bullish MACD cross. That would take a little bit more bullish price action for that to come to fruition, but it's still looking really good. Let's see how our monthly closed. Okay, so our monthly closed in a downtrend. Bad. Our weekly closing in a downtrend. Honestly, guys, it's going to take until XRP closes a weekly above $1.33, $1.32, $1.33 to see it start getting to $2 again. We're a little bit away from there. So if you want to write that down, any bigger XRP holders, you're going to need to take that into consideration. You want a macro time frame closure to be higher, so that would be the 133, 132 level. I think we have the 5-day closure coming in tonight. 5 days looking bad too. It's a clear resistance around $1.10, which was a support level back here, and now it's flipped as a clear resistance. If I put my cursor at $1.09, you could see what I'm talking about. Here it was a resistance, then it flipped Here it was a support, and then it flipped as a resistance. It's like a yin-yang, okay? What we need to see now is a break of that resistance, which would be closures above 110 to 112 on the 5-day, and then you would see it wanting to trade back into this range. But still, it's just sideways until it gets closures above the $1.33 level. So this is exactly how I said it would go, guys. I told you it would be boring as shit until it hits December. Then it's gonna moon mission. So yeah, we just all have to deal with that for right now. It is what it is. The 2-day 55 simple moving average is around $1 now. So on the closure tonight, that would also tell me that it's probably unlikely that we spend any time below $1. Just like it's probably unlikely that Bitcoin spends a lot of time below 55K. You know, I would call $1 XRP is very similar to like the $56,000 Bitcoin in the event we get any pullbacks. So daily closes, we're pretty much in the same story. So our upside targets would be around the 122, but we're not going to be seeing big major moves to new highs on XRP until it starts to get above those 130 into the 140 levels again. For now, it's just sideways. So for anyone who was planning to join the Patreon, the new month has started. You can visit by going to patreon.com/watersabove. The Mastermind community membership is available, and I'm wishing you guys a beautiful rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.